to another episode of the Pinnacle Podcast, a podcast talking all things sales, marketing, and social. A desire to inspire is here. Whether you are a fitness professional looking to level up your knowledge in the industry, looking for that special aha moment to take you to the next level, or simply just looking for some good listening while lifting, you are in the right place to hear exactly what you need to succeed. Coming to you from Melbourne, Australia, the Pinnacle Podcast is live.
All right, what's going on, everyone? Simon here from Pinnacle, and we've got another podcast episode today. And basically this episode has got a special guest, Phil. I'm going to introduce him in a second, but if this is the first podcast episode that you've ever tuned in on, then basically my goal with these episodes is to add serious value, whether you are in the fitness industry or not. So again, I want to stress that, my niche is to work with personal trainers in the fitness industry and grow their business. However, there is a lot of value that you can still take from these podcast episodes on business in general, regardless of what industry you are in. So I really hope you enjoy. So feel free to share this content. Feel free to like and comment when this is posted on social media, and share around with your friends. If you think that anyone can take value from the experiences in these podcasts, especially this awesome episode today, then feel free to get around it and share, like, and comment. So basically, as I've said, I'm going to introduce Phil now. So Phil's been working with me for about 10 weeks. Phil is a ideal client. I tell him all the time on the regular, bro, you're an ideal client. I've got a couple of these ideal clients, or a few of them, that are basically absolute legends and so easy to work with. And I think their results speak for themselves and obviously reflect on the individual. So Phil has actually added 6 figures to his existing income that he had in the PT industry. And I reached out to Phil, like I do with many people on social media. A lot of people obviously don't think that it's coming from the right place, but Phil knew that it was. Phil then basically jumped on board with me. We've been working for 10 weeks and he's added $2,000 of reoccurring into his bank account income per week. So Phil has gone from around about 1,000, and we'll talk figures in a second with Phil, about 1,000 to now over $3,000 of reoccurring income. So amazing story. He's doing over $150,000 a year, and most importantly, helping even more people in his place of business. And that's the real driving force. So I'm going to be asking Phil about his journey today, what it's taken to get to where we are today, the results that he's got, and basically just interview the man himself. So without further ado, here's the big man, Phil. How we going, brother?
How you going? Not bad, mate. How are you?
I'm always good, bro. I'm always good when I'm speaking with you, mate. I'm gonna butter you up, always, mate, for this little interview. So, how's your day going? Mate? How's your day going?
Yeah, good. Just enjoying the Darwin sun and nice hot weather that we constantly get up here. So, it's always good.
Good stuff, man. Good stuff. Awesome. Well, look, I think we'll get into it. We're going to run for about 15 to 20 minutes. We're going to keep these nice and punchy. And it's as simple as that, man. So first and foremost, Phil, I mean, me and you know the story, and you're just another average guy, let's be honest, who's a personal trainer in this amazing industry. So tell us a little bit about yourself, Phil, where you're from, where your business is based, and where you operate, and how long you've been a PT for, and et cetera, et cetera.
Yep. So I first did my course for Cert 3, Cert 4 in Melbourne. I used to live there. Born and bred in Melbourne, so moved here about 6 going on 7 years ago. So when I did qualify in 2009, I think it was, or 2008, through Australian Institute of Fitness, got my certs from there and did about 1 to 2 years work of mobile PT, and I did work for Graham Lansfield at Athletic Health Club. So I learned a lot of my bodybuilding stuff from them. From Michael Vecchio and Lou Vecchio, so good friends with them as well. And then from there, I was just doing my own work on the side in the gym, and also doing mobiles, going to people as far as Doncaster, from Preston to Doncaster, all around Melbourne, St Kilda as well. And then also working at reception at the gym to learn the management side of how Athletic is run as well. So from there, I took a little bit of a break. fell in love, met a missus, all that sort of stuff. Took a bit of a break, went into a bit more of a sustainable job. But prior to that, I was juggling the PT work and cafe management work as well. So I was doing up to 16 to 17 hours a day. The missus also had was pregnant to our son at that time, so she wasn't working. I had to bust in these extra hours. So I really was thrown into the deep end with the PT work at the start, and just pretty much learned and just told myself Cert 3, Cert 4 is what you need. And I learned from Graham, I learned from Lou and Michael, training other clients, and also I befriended a boxer as well, and taught me a lot about boxing and that as well. So, and he was an amateur boxer. So from there, I just learned and adapted every time, and always had that mind frame in my head to that it's different every day, and you pick up something every day, you learn something every day, and you never just enough is never enough, and so forth. So then I moved here about 6 years ago, and pretty much about going on 3 years ago, I decided to get out of security work, and then decided to go back to something that I really loved, and I thought, okay, go back to PT, give it a shot. And now I'm at this spot where it's my end job, and I know that I do want to do this as a retirement job and finish when I'm 50, which is another 14 years. But I've got these milestones and goals set for these next 14 years. And by the time I'm 50, I want to be able to retire from bodybuilding and the training, and have a team of PTs, and hopefully a bodybuilding gym open by then, and set up for my kids and that sort of stuff. So
it's awesome. It's awesome. I think, look, I mean, at the end of the day, I think there's a really, really good detailed journey of what you've been on. So, I mean, what I want to do is ask you a few questions, because a lot of the guys here that will be listening, I mean, that's an awesome journey, and we're going to talk about how you've gone from A to Z, pretty much. I want to ask you, so think back for when you became qualified. What do you remember about those initial times in the industry? What were the struggles? Like, what did you find hard in the beginning stages?
When I first started, well, it's hard and easy to say. Like, back then, it was more of being on floor to the floor, like being on the floor and talking to clients and being at reception. That's how I found I got business then. And no, my even my physique wasn't even as it is now, because I was starting out and going from a background that I was partying and doing all that stupid stuff, and I got really sick. Had early stages of emphysema, which told me to get into health and fitness, and that was my calling, to get out of the bad habits and get into something different and healthy. So that's why I made that change. But that was probably one of the difficult parts as well. But in terms of like the personal training side, floor to floor was, you could easily talk to someone in the gym, and obviously back then apps and technology wasn't so popular back then, so it was much more easier in some ways to talk to people and get business.
Well, I think that's a great point as well that you made there, mate. Sorry to interrupt you, but it's like you've gone from, because your experience is so vast. So tell the guys now, I think that's a great point to make, how you see the industry has changed from then to how hard it is now to be able to simply walk around on the floor and just get clients like that. It's a different ballgame now. Have you noticed that change?
Yeah, everyone's on social media. They're learning Instagram stuff, apps with programs, and you can watch a video clip and say, oh, I think I know how it's done. And a video clip will show you physically. But if you don't have a trainer there on the spot, that's where we come into play. That's where we are the most important part in the gym, because we're able to show someone exactly how it's done, and the technique and the intensity as well. So, technology and apps and social media, those things are the effect to us personal trainers doing the physical work. But at the same time, it is useful to get more people. They are useful because they are encouraging people to do their own stuff and learn independence with their training and their nutrition. But again, like yeah, that is the hardest part. And back then, like when I first started out, yeah, it was so much easier just to talk to somebody and get that sort of report from them, and then train them. But to expand, looking at expanding and improving the business with the strategies done now, and the help of you, of course, and the mindset of, and then especially the push of my bodybuilding coach as well. Looking back 10 years, 11 years, it would have been so much more harder, to be successful, especially competing, working in a gym where you've got, amateur state title holders like, Michael Vecchio, and a name like Graham Lansfield working for him as well. You've got to have that reputation as well. So yeah.
I like that. I like it, man. Like, I think it's, again, you're a super qualified guy. You've been through it. And what I want to do now is really narrow it down to talk about the pain points you've been faced now that you went back into the industry, so we can relate it to the viewers who are going to be watching this recording, who are also going through the tough things that you've been through. So when you've now gone back into the industry, what was the hardest thing that you saw? Like when we connected, for example, your business was in a little bit of dire straits. Obviously, you had some stuff going on yourself as well that you mentioned to me. What was it like? Why were you struggling, and what were you struggling with? Let's narrow it down to that.
So the big struggle was knowing that I've tried all these strategies that I worked from at the start, or when I did in the past 2 years, they worked at one stage, but then they just sort of got old and repetitive, and I found that I was starting to just go around in circles. Even as the smallest thing as like adverts on and posts on Facebook, they just weren't working. Trying all this free stuff, that I was thinking of, and again, it wasn't working. And I hit rock bottom, because I was just like, I didn't know what else to do. I ran out of options, ran out of sending posts and offering free stuff. I chased up my old clients, but of course the big effect of that too was with the changeover of going into a potential supplement store with my partner, and getting messed over by the seller. That was like sort of a blessing in disguise, but at the same time, changing over from going from a consistent 35 sessions and 35, 40 clients per week, and then dropping down to about 12 because I was passing on a lot of business and refusing a lot of business because of the changeover to the supplement store. I lost a lot of clients because of that, and I didn't really think about the effect until that shop didn't work out, and I thought, all right, well, I'm going to get back into PT. I'm just going to have to focus on that, and it was really difficult to even try and get those old clients back, because you can't just. It's so wrong to. You can't throw them away and expect them to come back when yeah. So, and that was the hard part. Was I hit a brick wall and I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to do anymore, and just gone crazy, really. Yeah.
Yeah, nice. So when you hit that brick wall, I think obviously, well, you told me it's like you knew you needed some help. When you came to the realization that you needed help, what made you kind of take that leap and go, like, I've been going round in circles here. Like, what was the main reason that you wanted to get some help? And then obviously that's where I came out of the blue there, and it happened. But why did you want to hire help?
Because I knew I bloody needed help. I figured out.
At least you did it. That's good.
Yeah, at least, and this is the thing. Like, as going back to overall the whole picture of PTs coming into this industry, getting a Cert 1, Cert 3, Cert 4, doing all these degrees and all that sort of stuff. And I always say this, and I will always say this until I die, is that it doesn't matter how many certificates you effing have. If you can't put the work to the work, and you can't walk the walk and talk the talk, it doesn't matter. It doesn't mean shit. I mean, sorry, mind my language, but it doesn't mean shit how many certificates you got. I couldn't care less. That's my personal opinion, and I'm sure a lot of people agree on that as well.
Yeah.
I knew that I needed to stop being so stubborn and closed-minded. And plus, your mate Nick as well, our mutual friend Nick, telling me a while ago when I did get back into when I did have that crash and burn, and then say, I'm going to start to try and improve again with business only like 10, 12 weeks ago. Nick had said to me, hey, I've got this really good friend. He knows his stuff. His name's Simon. He runs this consulting business. If you need help, give him a call. And I remember that day I was standing there, I'm like, nah, I should be all right, man. I should be right. I think I've got it. And you think you know it, but you don't. And then I tried all these strategies, and it didn't work. And then I'm sitting there, and Nick tagged me in your post. I can't remember which post it was exactly.
Yeah.
He tagged my name, and I was sitting there, and I was just like processing it through. And I'm like, I've always, I come from a family business. I know business management and that sort of stuff. And I thought sometimes to make money, you've got to invest. You've got to spend money to make money.
Yeah.
And I thought, you know what? Yeah, I just thought, you know what? I need to do this. If I'm going to provide for my family, if I'm going to make this a career, end career job, and really retire in this job, and want to get all these things and do all these things that I want to do for my family and myself, and achieve all these things.
Yeah.
I've got to sacrifice that stubbornness and just get rid of the stubbornness and say, all right, give into it and take some advice from the best, and that's where we are now. So
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it, man. I think there's so many people that are in your situation, and I market a lot, and I have a lot of connections all over the world, multiple countries, and I message a lot of people. The reason why is because I know I can help them. But what made you think, and this is a question I think that I'd love to hear your opinion on. I've never actually asked it to you personally. What made you think that Simon's the right guy? What stood out to you and sort of said to you, all right, Pinnacle and Simon, this is it, this is right. Like, what's different from what you've probably heard from other approaches from other coaches and stuff like that? What was the deciding factor for you?
All right, long story short, so you've got to, my opinion for that is, if you want to be one of the best, you've got to learn from the best. And I'm not kissing your ass, but it's the same thing as why I have Tim McKinnon as well on my side with bodybuilding stuff. He's one of the best. Third in amateur Olympia this year. And second in state. As well. So if you want to be the best, you've got to learn from the best. That's a straight up answer there. But again, too, like I did talk to one of my friends, colleagues that has a business coach as well. And before I said yes to you, I was just in there and talking to him and getting his insight or his opinion on it. And he did say, look, it's going to be a lot of hard work, prepared to do it. If you really want to be successful in this industry, and he said that business coaches are really, really handy if you want to get far, and you think you know it all, you think you can do it all, but you can't. They really, really will help you and assist you in controlling and structuring your business, everything about it. So, and I guess of course knowing Nick as well, and then yourself as just the way you helped out with and understanding, most importantly, with the struggles I previously had with my misses and that sort of stuff. Just your generosity, pretty much, and it's told me, all right, this guy's not here to. This guy's a lot like me. He's not there to rip people off, and it's quality time, quality service. And it's constantly guiding every day. So, that's the interaction I need every day, because that keeps me a mindset for every day. So once you did that for me, I knew, okay, it's definitely worth the service and definitely worth the money and everything as well. So.
Well, look, I mean, from my point of view, bro, obviously it goes without saying, I guarantee the growth. So let's talk now about your journey, because Man, it's been a pretty good journey, and it's been like 10 weeks. So, I mean, instantly when we started working together, I worked the magic that we normally do and we do with everyone. It was so quick that you saw a turnaround. I mean, obviously, we did a lot of restructures with the company because I know the rates in which you were charging were off and all that sort of stuff. Now, I remember this one moment where you said to me, I think there was a topic, I can't remember what we were talking about, but your reply was like, I told you what you were going to expect. You then saw it and you were like, I now trust you 200%. What do you think was for you the pivotal moment in the journey to adding six figures? Like, they were talking hundreds of thousands of dollars here, adding thousands of dollars a week to your income in a 10-week period. What's the main thing that stood out to you? Because I'll never forget that one where I knew I was like, Phil was like, he's got it now. He has the trust with me. But what was the main point for you where you could say to the viewers now that the biggest thing you've taken away and the biggest like sort of turning point for you to go, hang on a second, this is actually going places now?
A few things like, it's hard to find those right words, but it's like the assurance and the safety of knowing that someone's got your back and someone at that professional level that's been through the same things, and that's what we related to a lot in our conversations and boxes and Facebook and that. Knowing that you're genuinely there to ensure the success of your clients and that sort of stuff. But yeah, that's what made me. Yeah, that was at that point. I was like, all right, this guy knows what he's talking about. He's had a chat with my missus and told her that he's got our back and that sort of stuff. And it did. It turned out. So once I saw those figures change and the strategies work, and I was just like, wow, so simple stuff, and things that they're there, you could easily things that we forget that are easily done and forgotten too, and most importantly, the spark that I got back from when I did first start in the industry, even 10 years ago or even 3 years ago, the spark that I got back, that drive and the hunger to be successful, and knowing that I'm accountable to yourself and my and Tim as well. So the constant guidance, and knowing that you're there every day, that's the most important thing. That's why I said I need that every day to make sure that I need to talk to you every day, so I know that what's the plan, what's the goal, and we're just going to kill it, But the promising effects of it from there,
100%, bro. I think the one thing which I've told you personally, I think earlier in the week, is that I really appreciate the level of communication we have. I mean, a lot of the clients I work with, like yourself, and this was like myself too, I'm very, very similar, where I want a daily accountability, and, I obviously provide a service where I give you access to do that. But I think the communication that we have is so fluent. I literally speak to you all the time. That's for me is a big thing that has definitely helped you grow your business. I know that was like me with my first business coach. It was the same thing, that daily accountability and interaction. If you were to give now one thing in terms of a tip to anyone watching this video, what would it be in terms of how you've seen such a different position from 10 weeks ago unfold? If you were now talking to yourself 10 weeks ago, what would you tell the old Phil and then obviously the people that are watching this now to try and improve your business? What would you say?
One, stop being a stubborn prick. Two would be take a risk, trust in the process and the person that you are talking to and investing in, because they got your back. And the other thing is never lose confidence and the hunger and the drive to be successful in whatever you do, especially in this industry, because there's a lot of people out there that need help and in terms of members, people that don't go to the gym. There's a lot of people that need help, and if we can continue to keep passing on the vibe of health and fitness and getting more people involved in it, it's gonna do a little bit. One person is 1%, but it's still 1% out of the whole city, you know. So yeah, don't be stubborn and trust the process and trust in your coach, because it will happen. It takes time. It's going to be a hard road, but at the end of the day, it's get that tunnel vision through, and there's always a light at the tunnel.
Yeah, man, 100%. I think another thing now, couple more questions, because I know I want to keep it short and sweet, and I know we're both busy. Yeah. Did you ever think 10 weeks ago you'd be in the position that you're in right now?
Hell no.
No?
Hell no. You know, I would have sworn out loud, but yeah, hell no. I didn't know where I was going in 10 weeks ago. Now I can see everything, like I've caught up on my bills, and money's starting to get saved up again. You know, I've most importantly, I can just look at my missus and say, I got you, don't stress, you know. And she's getting to the point where she doesn't really have to work at all now. So, yeah, I can see all those goals that we're planning on doing next year. You know, the recruiting and all that sort of stuff, and of course, hopefully getting my Raptor, not Wild Track.
Yes,
but yeah, all those sort of things, they're visible. Yeah, they're visible now, yeah. And yeah, they're all visible. And 10 weeks ago, there was, yeah, I didn't know. It's hard for me. I can't even find the words for it. It was I was devastated 10 weeks ago. I didn't know what else to do anymore.
Yeah,
I was contemplating going back to security, put it that way, because I had no other options.
It's funny, man. Yeah. There are clients. There's plenty of clients. One client springs to mind. A girl in Melbourne here who in her testimonial video for me said that she was that close to quitting the industry. I'm just so glad that I have the opportunity and to work with you guys and to turn that around and to be able to provide much more than what security would ever be able to provide for you, right? So last couple of questions here, man. What would you say is the main thing that you like about working with myself and Pinnacle so far? What do you think are the main things that you like the most?
Let's say, as you as a person, your understanding, your patient as well. You relate to a lot of the things that I go through. Good banter as well. We're always having a good chat, a good laugh. But in terms of business, of course the consistent check-ins in the morning as well. So the same 5 a.m. boxes. Your availability even after you finished off your boxer, that's good as well. And of course your strategies and yeah, it's a whole list of things, but those are the top ones to say.
Awesome. No, nice, man. I appreciate the feedback. And I think the last message before you got to go get back to the gym and take some clients through. What is your one message to anyone struggling in their business and to the Phils 10 weeks ago that are watching? What would your advice be to them to take their business to the next level, bro?
Just take a risk, really. Yeah, take a risk. Stop sitting in that chair and get out there and say, hey, I need some help, because we all need help. And when someone offers you help, take it. Take it, because it doesn't mean that you're weak. It doesn't mean that people are going to look at you differently or judge you and that sort of stuff. Because if people judge you because you just don't, because you're learning or you don't have that experience or you're unsure of things or you don't want to take risks, that's people that you don't want to mix with. Because people that understand you and are able to help you, those are the people that you want in your circle. Those are the people that you do want to work with. So take a risk and stop sitting in that chair and get out there, because it's not going to happen if you sit there and pretend like you know it all, because you don't really. Yeah.
100%. I think you've hit two nails on the head there, bro. Associate yourself with like-minded achievers and succeeders. Learn from them and pretty much Step out of comfort zones. You know, they're there to be stepped out of. I'm still stepping out of them myself. Just because I'm a coach, it doesn't mean I don't have a coach. I have 3 of them. You know, like it's crazy. You never stop learning. And look, bro, I just want to say thank you very much for your time. We're just 10 weeks in. We've got some big goals for the business and the company going forward now. So look, we'll wrap it up there because I know you're super busy, man, and I want to appreciate, say thank you again and appreciate your time. But everyone who's listened to this episode, look, you've been spending time with myself and Phil, a super intelligent, super passionate guy who has now unlocked his true potential with Pinnacle. If you've got any questions about this or would like to be connected with Phil, if you've got any questions for Phil, I'm sure, Phil, you'd extend a hand out to anyone. And obviously the same goes for me as well. So until the next episode, guys, take care. We'll speak to you soon.